Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, as promised, I'm going to be doing a Q&A video, so stay tuned for that. And yes, today I do have a microphone because my brother insisted that it would be better to use instead of mounting it on the camera. But yeah, so today we're going to be holding it. It feels like I'm a weather announcer or something. I have a cup of tea because I'm just getting over like a major cold, but that's why I have tea, and also I just like tea. Let's get into the questions. Okay, so the first question says, how beneficial are writing outlines? I guess that would depend on what your writing style is, or like who you are as a writer. So there's generally 3 different kinds of writers: plotters, pantsers, and plantsers. And I actually talk about this a lot on my blog, especially right now. I'm like more of a plotter. I would say I'm a plantser, but like more on the side of a plotter. But on my blog right now, I'm actually doing a series about like the 3 different kinds of writers. So if you want to go check that out, I will put the link in the description. So I would just say writing outlines are very beneficial if you're a plotter, and pretty beneficial if you're a plantser. Probably not super beneficial if you're a pantser. Yeah, it just kind of depends on which writer you are. The next question is, what is your favorite writing genre? That is a tough one because I've written a lot of different genres. I've written contemporary, I've written borderline like fantasy, historical fiction, biblical fiction, dystopian, kind of like almost steampunk or sci-fi. I don't know. I've written a lot of different genres. I know my favorite one to read is classic. I love classic books, but I haven't written a classic. So, I mean, how many of us can say that we have? I don't know. I like all of them. So I know that's not really a solid answer, but I don't really have another answer because I really like writing most of them. If you can't think of anything else to write in the middle of your story, what do you do? Well, since I'm more of like the plantser, but more on the side of a plotter, I have like an outline kind of beforehand that I go off of. But a lot of times I don't like stick with the outline exactly, and my characters want to go a different direction. So yeah, sometimes I'm like, I know, where I began, I know where I'm going, but I don't know what is going to happen right now, or even like in a scene, like what's going to happen in this scene kind of thing. I would say probably the biggest thing is just add conflict. And the way that you can do that is you can assign goals and beliefs to every character in your story, and they all have their own agenda. And once you do that and you throw different characters with different agendas into a scene, you're going to have conflict. So if you can't think of a way to spice up a scene, a good way to do that is to think of characters that if they interact, it's going to get interesting, and throw those characters together and just kind of see what happens. And a lot of times it'll kind of start to come to life by itself. As you have so many story ideas, how do you decide which story to pursue? That is a really good question, because if you know me, I get a lot of story ideas. Everywhere I go, I get new writing inspiration. So I have a lot of story ideas. Currently, I have an idea folder, not a file, a folder. Yes, I organize my ideas into different files because there's a lot of them, and because I like organizing. Yeah, so I kind of, when I get an idea, I write it down and I will put it in my ideas folder, whatever file it goes into. I guess it's just, you just know this is the time to write this story. And I always like refresh myself and look at all my ideas when I'm looking for a new project. Sometimes I don't use any of those. I just come up with a new idea. So it's just whichever one seems right at the time, especially if it's like a message that's been speaking to you, because I always start my stories whenever I'm thinking about a new story idea or outlining it. I start with, what is the truth that I want to tell in this story? So if it's something that I've been really passionate about, something that I've been learning about, or something that has been really speaking to me, then that might draw my attention to that story. But other than that, it's just kind of like whatever genre or whatever idea I feel like writing at the time, because sometimes I bounce back between ideas too, because I have a lot of unfinished stories too. How do you keep your main characters or villains from being the same as previous characters? The biggest thing to remember with any character that you have like a stereotypical name, even if it's something like a main character or your villain or your love interest or sidekick or mentor or whoever, you have to remember that they are not just that character, they are a character and they're a person. And so they are going to have their own beliefs, their own goals, their own backstories, things that have happened to them. They're going to have their own relationships. They're going to have quirks and all that. So it's not just about the stereotype that they are in. It's also about, them as a character, make them unique. And especially depends on like the message of the story. A lot of times their main beliefs will have something to do with that message, just so that I can tie everything together. And I go into this more in depth also on my blog. I did a series a while ago on supporting characters, so you can go check that out as well. At what point of writing a book do you get the most excited about? So like the beginning, the middle, or the end? I get really excited when I begin a story because, it's like this new, fresh thing, but it's also a little daunting. The middle, it's a love-hate relationship because I want to enjoy the process. And so if it's a really good story, I don't want to not enjoy it. At the same time, it gets kind of judgery sometimes. The ending is really fun, but sometimes you just want to be done, so you hurry up to get to the end. But the ending can be so fun to write because a lot of times when you start a story, you know where it's going to end, and it's like the middle that's the hard part. I don't know what I get the most excited about, the beginning or the end, but I do know I probably get the least excited about the middle, even though that's like the main part of the process. Not that I don't like it, it's just that I also have a lot that I don't like about it. Do you work out ideas just in your head, or do you like talking about them with family and friends? I definitely like talking about them. Anybody out there watching this who knows me knows that I like talking about my ideas. Although when I have a new idea, sometimes I will kind of let it ruminate in my mind for a little bit, and I might, jot it down and not talk about it maybe for a little while, but I usually end up spilling to somebody because I get so excited about my ideas. Yeah, I definitely talk about my ideas. I love this one. Why is Levi your favorite brother? I wonder who submitted that one. Might be a certain brother of mine whose name begins with an L. I had to put that in there because that's such a Levi thing to say. How long have you been writing for? I learned to read when I was 4, so ever since then you would barely catch me without a book for the longest time. And then I started getting into writing, a lot of it because of school. We would write a lot of essays and we get to do creative writing. That was so fun. I mean, I don't like essays, but the creative writing is fun. I can't think of an exact age, but I would say probably 6. I know I wrote my first song when I was 9, so yeah, I would say maybe 6. My parents always encouraged us to read a lot, so that really helped me develop a love for reading and then also later for writing. Is there anything you would like to get good at that you're not currently good at? I guess you don't always know what you're gonna do for the rest of your life when you're almost 19, which I am. But I feel like at this point in life, I figured out what my main interests are. I wouldn't say I'm good at them. So it's just kind of a matter of getting better at them. So I would say just continually getting better at writing. Playing violin, I stopped taking lessons just because life. But I still want to continue to learn new songs. I definitely want to get better at singing though. And then I always want to get better at writing. I guess just get better at doing life. And especially because I'm a Christian, my goal is to be like Christ. And so there are a lot of things that I am not like Christ in. Also, I did start making more food and baking more as a hobby. So I'd love to get better at that too. And just homemaking skills, because I do want to be a wife and mother someday. Yeah, there's a lot of things I could get better at. What is your earliest memory? Oh, that's a good one. I actually remember a couple things, I think from when I was maybe 1. I do remember my younger brother is a year and something months younger than me. And I do remember the night that he was born. So I guess my earliest memory would probably be that, because I don't think I remember anything before then. I don't know how much of this stuff I'm leaving in, guys, but be it known, I am talking to myself here because I'm alone in the room. So why not? And I can cut out whatever I want and you don't get to hear it. But yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff being said right now, and I will cut most of it out, so you are welcome. But anyway, let's get back to the questions. Do you ever feel like rewriting something and starting over again after you just wrote it? Yes. That is probably the most emphatic answer I have had so far in this Q&A. Yes, yes, yes. Maybe it's because I'm a perfectionist. I don't know. But sometimes I don't know where things come from. you get an idea really late at night and you scribble it down and you're so excited all night long because you're like, oh, this is going to be the best idea, like the next bestseller. And you wake up and you look at it the next morning and you're like, did a actual like infant come up with this? Because this is actual trash. Even just, you sit down all professionally and like you are going to write, like today is the day we are going to finish the novel, and you just write actual junk. Yeah, that happens a lot to me. Probably the most major instance of that is not just like on a sentence or like paragraph or chapter scale. So the novel, you all know I'm writing a novel if you've been here before. If not, hi, welcome. I'm writing a novel and I have been for 5 years. Yeah, it's not just 5 years of just beginning to end. No. This is 5 years of writing the whole 33 chapters, 77,000 words, and looking at it after it's done and being like, no, this is not good at all. So, and then we decide to rewrite it. So yes, I have had that happen a lot. I don't know, for some reason people have this view of writers that we just kind of like sit down one day and like work magic and poof, perfect sentences appear. I wish it was like that, because our life would be so much easier if it was like that, but it's not. It's very much a painstaking job and you have to have a lot of patience, but it is rewarding in the end, so that's a plus. We are at the last question already. What is your favorite thing about being homeschooled? Yes, I am a homeschooler. I think I said that earlier in the video too, but hi, yes, I'm a homeschooler. You probably could tell. But anyway, my favorite thing about being homeschooled. So I graduated a year and a half ago. Yeah, it would have been spring of 2023. My favorite thing about being homeschooled. So I have 7 siblings. So it was all of us and then my mom who was homeschooling us, and then my dad for a lot of my homeschooled life worked at home, and then we have had various pets throughout the years, so there's all of us in a house together, so it can get a little chaotic, and that can be a bad thing. But probably my favorite thing about being homeschooled is just, yeah, all of us being able to be together and all of that chaoticness, that's not a word, is it? Chaos, all of that chaos. But it's such a cool chaos because look what comes out of it is all of us kids are gonna grow up, and I feel like we are equipped with good skills, but also we made a lot of memories. We were able to just grow up together and play with each other and work with each other and create things with each other. So probably my favorite thing about being homeschooled would be doing things together. So that is it. I hope I answered all of your questions. I hope you enjoyed this video and enjoyed learning a little bit more about me and also learning a little bit more about writing and my perspective on it. And yeah, I hope it was a blessing to you guys and that you will stick around and check out some of the other videos on my channel. And if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe and check out my blog in the description below, because there are a lot of other good tools and posts on there, and you can check out some of my writing if you haven't read it. All that stuff is available on my blog. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!